to the current
versus
you.
yes or no.
Okay, so Koji is seeing the future where Boruto is skilled, but that's funny because shouldn't that mean he also knows that Boruto's only that skilled in the future because Koji taught him? It's not like Koji seeing a future skilled Boruto where Koji didn't teach him.
Well, he might be because it's possible futures. So um there could just be a future where Boruto did it on his own. So let's just say it took Boruto 10 years to get there though. And Koji's like, oh, well, why don't I just teach you it in one?
Well, based on the
Now,
events he saw when he saw them, it seems like he's seeing a cluster of events all around the same time rather than jumping all over the place in the timeline.
well, I think he saw more stuff again. Like he saw like a bunch then, but he sees them again later. Like it
Yeah,
I feel like he's honestly I think he's constantly seeing the futures basically at every time as a selection point.
well, I think that's
So like there's way more that we just aren't shown.
I don't know about at every selection point because that would be practically constantly. But I
I mean,
I think it's
he
just that
kind of
he's
makes it seem like
using
that.
the ability a lot, but every time he uses the ability, again, it's only focusing on a selective cluster of future memories rather than a 10-year gap in time in a single ability use.
I mean,
I could be
I don't
wrong.
know.
We'll find out.
I think. I mean, I think he just saw a future where Boruto just was that strong, and he's just like, all right, let me get you there faster.
Skill jutsu. So,
That being said,
yeah.
I forgot what I said. So real quick, the first thing to note is I think that's basically kind of confirms that like Boruto's not like powerful. He's just skilled, really,
Yeah.
because Koji can't just give him power. He's just teaching him this. He's just saying like, "Yo, you learn these skills. Let me teach you them." That being said, with the I made this depending on. So I first I just wanted to know like, what do you think about this idea? I guess before I say my other thing.
Right. An idea that you already said or an idea that you're about to say?
No, like the idea of just the Kochi taught Boruto the future skills. Like, do you like it, dislike it, think it's still earned, think it's not earned power? Like, what do you think? Just before I ramble.
I think it did happen, first of all, if that was part of the question. I don't think it's like a possible I think it just did happen. Whether or
No,
not
I
it's earned or not. Like I know narratively is what you're really asking. I'm not even like worried about that because this is just a thing that's happening right now, and it depends how it plays out more than the thing itself.
yeah, okay. So because I really think it depends on exactly the nature of like for first of all, Boruto's still training. It's like it's just completely for free. There's ways in which it can kind of be unearned. It almost just like a shortcut. And there's ways in which it's not really as much. So, like, for example, Naruto's training to learn Rasen Shuriken. So Naruto also does like a shortcut method. Granted, in Naruto's case, this is the thing though. If the training makes it harder for Boruto, then obviously, like Naruto, the training's faster, but it's harder. So obviously earned because of that. However, if like Kakashi just immediately told Naruto that once he got to the final step, oh yeah, bro, just use the Shadow Clone Jutsu and you'll do it. You'll get it instantly. That kind of like eliminates a lot of Naruto's hard work in it, and that would be like cheaper. So if it's like Koji's just skipping, like, yeah, dude, you're gonna take 10 years to figure out how to do the loop-de-doo. Yeah, this is how you do the loop-de-doo. And Boruto just gets it instantly. It's all right. Well, you kind of just skipping all that like work he did, but it really depends. But if it's like it's hard to explain, but some of the stuff, it's like he would still have to work hard. And if where did I write? I can't remember if I wrote an idea for how the training could be harder.
No, I agree. Based on that, that goes in line with what I was saying about Shinobi history and why the next generation is always stronger than the last. It's not because of genetics or whatever. It's because the previous generation put in the work, and they're propelling the next generation forward based on the knowledge, skill, and experience they've already earned. So they can tell Boruto, well, this is what a Rasengan is. This is how I learned it. I've given you everything you need, everything that I didn't have when I learned it from scratch by myself. Now you can learn it quicker and even surpass me if you put in the same amount of effort.
Yeah.
But
and another thing is,
so Koji isn't just like being, this is my experience, this is how you do it. He's not being the previous generation, having the next generation put their faith in them to propel them forward. No, he's just telling them how to do it, just based on future sight or whatever. So,
yeah. Now, I will say, in terms of, it's a little bit harder to imagine this training being harder, but one way I thought of, at least, for how it could be harder, kind of like Naruto's Shadow Clone method, is if maybe due to not developing his body and power at the same rate of as his skills, just maybe the training becomes harder because it's unbalanced. Like, obviously Boruto benefits from it greatly still, but it might make the training harder because his body isn't really ready for his skill. That's just a possibility to make it hard. Now the other thing I was going to say, though, is depending on, again, unless it's like the Kakashi, yeah, you just have to do the Shadow Clone Jutsu, bro. I want to know how Koji could have taught Boruto some of this stuff without knowing it himself. Like, even, like, at the very least, if Koji looks into this hypothetical future and learns it by watching Boruto learn it, then teaches it by showing Boruto it. Because I'm kind of like, Koji knows the Rasengan. He apparently witnessed Boruto learn it. Why can't Koji do it? He should be able to, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, like, he's gonna teach Boruto how to do it. Like, I feel like bro should be able to do it at that point. Unless it's like the Kakashi, like, oh, just look left and right. That's something I could never do. But do the Shadow Clones. But, like, in this case, I feel like Koji should just be able to do, like, Flying Raijin and Uzihiko.
No, I think being a good teacher doesn't necessarily have anything to do with being able to be strong yourself or being able to do the ability. It's just about, are you able to teach it to someone else? Like, an art teacher doesn't have to show how to draw art. They just have to teach how for them to do it.
But he's, like, teaching it based on how Boruto's going to learn. I don't know. I just feel like... But it's also... skill, like, the Rasengan Uzihiko. It's a skill set Koji's already good at. I feel like you should be able to learn it.
Yeah, that's fair. But we don't know why he's
Kakashi didn't teach Naruto how to do the Rasengan. He helped Naruto learn Wind Style. And then was kind of like, from here, bro, you just gotta try to infuse into your Rasengan. And he accidentally gave Naruto an idea. Koji, in the end, it seems like, I just feel like, I don't know, it just feels like, I kind of want to see Koji know how to do Uzihiko now.
The thing is, can Koji do Rasengan in the first place? Because he took the time off screen to learn and master it for 2 years before we first saw him. Or is it because Amado pulled shenanigans and gave him it somehow from birth, scientific ninja tech shenanigans? Is it because he's a clone of Jiraiya that experience was carried forwards and he subconsciously knew how to do it, etc.? Because again, Naruto can do Rasengan literally in his sleep.
So it's really tough to say. I think out of all the options that seem reasonable, I kind of prefer that last one. It just kind of carried over from Jiraiya. Shibai Cells is kind of stupid. Amado Ninja Tech, he's not doing it through Ninja Tech. He's doing it through Ninjutsu. Like, I just feel like the Jiraiya one would be the best answer. I think he just knows how to do it.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, Boruto
like how Mitsuki was just born able to do, like, snake lightning and shit. Just made him that way.
Oh my god. So, Boruto says not only Kore, which is Konohamaru's thing, he also says, believe it.
Believe it.
Is, I mean, that good?
Not even you know. Believe it. Are they
is
bringing Believe It back, please?
I love it. Is that's totally cool someone's thing? What about I mean that's good? Does anyone say that? Is that Himawari's thing?
What if Himawari? That's totally cool. Be good for Himawari.
There are no chronological contradictions. I'm just telling you what I saw there. It is a normal procedure in the 10 directions. Is 10 directions the name of the ability again?
Yeah.
A normal procedure. I'm just telling you what I saw there. I feel like this is a mistranslation. Because there are no contradictions and it is a normal procedure are not following the same thing exactly. But there is also a way to save Uchiha Sasuke from turning into a tree.
Uchiha Sasuke.
I'll explain later. So here's the thing. The future that he saw was a future where he had yet to learn. It's okay, so this is the problem. In the present moment, he's learning of the future. Does that influence the future itself? Like, is there a future where Koji didn't know about the Soul Thorns? Is there a future where at a certain point in time he either did or didn't have his ability activate, giving him or not having him have knowledge?
So the best way to do this, I think, would be to use Shibai's perspective. So just say Shibai's alive and is watching everything.
Okay.
So once Koji awakened the ability, no, he already awakened it. That just carries forward. But before then, probably Shibai probably could have seen a future where Koji just doesn't know about the Soul Thorns. In that future, yeah, they probably all just die to the Tentails.
But like, what I'm saying is, I don't know. Does he explain the process of how to save Sasuke using the Soul Thorn?
No. He says,
Okay.
I'll explain later, but that's like a future chapter.
Okay. Well, let's just, for now, assume that Koji sees one possibility of the future where Koji just gets a Soul Thorn, I don't care how, and then he just stabs Sasuke and it frees Sasuke. My question is, without this knowledge that he's getting now in the present moment, in order to do that in the future, how would in the future he know to do that without this knowledge from the present moment?
I think his knowledge might influence the future possibilities. It's weird.
But again, his knowledge is based on the future possibilities where he's doing something based on the knowledge. You see the contradiction here. Like, why is future Kashin Koji stabbing it into the tree?
I think it depends on how he got the knowledge. If, hypothetically, Gaara got a Soul Thorn of Shinki and stabbed Shinki and just saved Shinki independent of everything else, Koji could have just learned it through that chance thing.
Yeah.
And now he's applying it to Boruto separately.
I agree if it's like a desperation thing. But like, again, outside of desperation, they shouldn't even have the idea that this might work because they don't know what a Soul Thorn is. It just looks like a weird black thing that came out of a Shinju. They would probably want to destroy it, let alone try and risk experimenting with it by stabbing it into a Sasuke.
Okay, all right. How about this then? We'll use a character who would do that. Orochimaru defeats the log Shinju, stabs the log tree.
Okay, I'm down. It kind of ruins Orochimaru's character to some extent, because, like, shouldn't he love Log as well? But whatever. Sure.
Bro would be willing to experiment, though.
Okay, fine. But, like, again, assuming it's like a 15-minute thing before it rots, that's also another crazy factor in
apparently
this.
it's got like 3 seconds. I'm waiting for the chapter when, or sorry, the 5 chapters span of people just holding a soul thorn like a hot potato, and it doesn't rot. And it's just gonna make Jura's decision making even less sense.
Oh my god.